You can raise your hand if you have a question. Tarkanath, that's Brahmacharya.
Thank you, Srila Gurudev. So my question is about the four sweetness of Sri Krishna. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, is this four sweetness also present in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Because, for example, how is the Venu Madhuri present in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And also the like other question is the Lila Madhuri. We heard from you that all the pastimes of Sri Krishna are actually reaction of his Anubhav. So it means that only the pastimes of the sweet form of the Lord are reaction of his Anubhav, or also the pastimes of the opulent forms are also reactions of the Anubhav.
So, in regard to the sweetness of the form, then we can say, of course, Gauranga Mahaprabhu has Rupa Madhuri. He has sweetness. He has more sweetness than Krishna Rup, because there is Radha Rup there also. So then, Venu Madhuri, that is a Vaishishtya of Krishna Lila. Sriman Rasarasaramvi Bangsi Bhatta Tatastataha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinata Svistuna. Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi. Gopinath is at Bangsi Bhatt and he attracts all the Braja Gopis by his Venu Madhuri, by the sweetness of his flute. For what? For the Rasa Lila. So in Gaura Lila, that Rasa Lila is manifest as the Maha Sankirtan Rasa. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the Sankirtan Rasa Rasika. He's the Rasika, the relisher of the Rasa of Maha Sankirtan. Yes. So, Mahaprabhu also calls everyone to relish the Maha Sankirtan Ras, but not by his flute. How? By Mridanga. So it is said that the Bangsi, the flute of Sri Krishna, incarnates in Gaura Lila as the Mridanga. Understand? And so, though Krishna, the Vaishishtya of Krishna is Venu Madhuri, but Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramara Sahala. It is the Mridanga which is sweet, Madhurya. In the Gaura Arti, the sound of the Mridanga is described as being rasala, full of rasa and madhurya. So we can say that Krishna has Rupa Madhuri and Gaura has Rupa Madhuri and Radha and Krishna's Rupa Madhuri. And Krishna has Venu Madhuri and Mahaprabhu has Mridanga Madhuri. By which he attracts everyone to the Maha Sankirtan Rasa. Then, Lila Madhuri, yes, of course. Gaurangera Madhur Lila Jara Karne Pravasila Hridayane Malapiluta. So also he has the Lila Madhuri. And the question is this Lila the Anubhav of the Prem? Yes, also. And your final question was, the Lord himself does Lila, which is a reaction to the Anubhav, that is the reaction to seeing the love in the heart of the devotees. But is that true of the devotees? Yes, because the Leela, we can say, is the interaction between Krishna and his devotees. So what the devotees are doing, that is their anubhav, their reaction to Krishna's sweetness. And what Krishna is doing, that's his reaction to the devotees' love. So it goes both ways. But in the context of the verse, Lila Premna Priyadikyam, this is speaking about Govindasya Chatustayam, the four qualities of Govinda. So yes, his Lila, that is his sweet quality, and that is the anubhav of his feeling, seeing the love of his devotees. So we're talking about Govinda. But that he's surrounded by devotees who have such prem. That can be, you can put the behavior of the devotees in the lila is the anubhav of their prem. So that prem madhurya. Premna priyadikyam. That means he has the priya, he has beloveds who have more love for him than any form of Bhagavan. Bhagavan has, all the forms of Bhagavan have devotees that love him. But no form of Bhagavan is loved by a prem like Krishna. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu is directly Krishna himself. So we can say that there are four Madhuris in him, but they are not manifest in the same way. There is Vaishishta. There's some speciality between Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila. Otherwise, it would require different names, different dhams, specific. Gauranam, Gauradham, and Gaurakam all have there. That means his name, his abode, and his activities all have their Vaishistya. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati in Chaitanya Chandramrita, he said, oh, when Krishna appeared in the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Navadvip Dham, resplendent with the effulgence of molten gold, he appeared with all of his associates. Those are in Dasyaras, those are in Sakyaras, those are in Madhuryaras of Krishna Lila appeared with him. But in Gaura Lila, they all experienced such premaras in excess of what they had ever experienced before when they came in Gaura Lila. So, this is astonishing. How is it that the same associates, they came in Gaura Lila, but they experienced more rasa in Gaura Lila than in Krishna Lila? And we can also say, if you see the discussion in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma, there Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written that if someone considers that Krishna Lila is higher than Gaura Lila, or if someone considers that Gaura Lila is higher than Krishna Lila, then they're not rasik. So then how can you do the reconciliation? In Jaiva Dharma it said, if you think that Gaura Lila is higher than Krishna, or you think that Krishna Lila is higher than Gaura Lila, then that person is not rasik. And Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur in Chaitanya Chandramrita, he is saying that when the eternal associates of Krishna in Dasya, Sakya and Madhurya Rasa, they appeared along with Gauranga Mahaprabhu in that lila, they tasted rasa in excess to as what they had tasted before. And raise your hand if you have the answer. Yes.
Maybe after Gaura Lila, their happiness increased,
Может
trust
быть,
increased, and this increase
после Гора раз возросла, и это
go with him in Krishna Lila. And after his happiness increased every time forever.
Okay, good guess. You understand what he's saying? He's saying they do the Gora Lila and the rasa increases and they take that rasa with them and they go into the Krishna Lila. And then when they appear in the Gora Lila again, then the rasa increases and they take it back like this. Okay. What's your guess? Because in Gora Lila, they also experience the rasa of Braj Lila. That explains why there's the more rasa. Yeah? But how does it explain how, if you think there's more rasa in one than the other, that you are not rasik? Understand? Because it's the same lila. Yes, this is getting close. Yes. One thing is this, that all these points are very good. In Gaur Lila, this is a bhajan lila. And so, when the devotees are chanting and they go into trance, they experience Krishna lila. Right? So the rasa of Krishna lila is included in the Gaur Lila. Because they realize and relish rasa in their siddha roops. But in Gaur Lila, there is also their pastimes in their sadhak forms as well. Of course, they're not sadhaks, they're the eternal associates of siddha. But in their sadhak form, as devotee form. And so there's also a rasa of doing bhajan. That is also a type of rasa. And of coming out from the Krishna Lila and then coming into the sadhak form, and then feeling more and more separation and chanting again to go and going back into the lila. So that is aspect that it seems it is not in the Vrindavan lila. It seems, but ultimately they are a part of the same lila. Another thing which is important is that the reason why one is not higher than another, even though we can say that Gaur Lila is superior in terms of availability, accessibility, because it is the Audarya Lila. It's the distribution of sweetness causelessly. And so Radha Krishna Lila is not accessible, it's not available to general persons. They're not qualified. But Gaur Lila is such that by his mercy, even unqualified persons, he makes them qualified and then he brings them into the Lila. So from our perspective, we tend to elevate the Gaur Lila because relative to ourselves, it's more accessible. Understand? But from the absolute point of view of the absolute truth himself, see Krishna, Radha and Krishna, one of the reasons Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that one is not higher than the other, because the metric by which one can understand something is superior is not whether or not it's available to us. That is not the supreme metric. What is the supreme metric? Prem. So Prem develops. Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, Rudabhav, Adhirudabhav, Modan, Mohan, and Madanakya Mahabhav. So the highest mood is Madanakya Mahabhav. That is the highest mood in Krishna Lila. And what is the highest mood in Gaur Lila? Madhanakya Mahabhav. Right? This is why it's Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, those who are rasik, they don't say that one is higher than another, because the highest mood in both is the same. In Krishna Lila, it's Madhanakya Mahabhav, but only Radharani tastes it. And in Gaur Lila, the highest mood is Madhanakya Mahabhav, but this time Krishna is tasting it. Understand? So for this reason. So these are some vichar, deliberations on Gaura Tattva. Most astonishing how our acharyas have relished all of these perspectives and endless glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gaur Premanande!